It is now time for Premier's Picks. Each and every week, the Premier of this fair province joins us on the Green Zone to make his predictions for the week in the Canadian Football League. And I can tell you, fans, he's caught you. Yeah, that's right. The Premier, the fans, Gary Nickel, all tied with 17 correct out of the 40 games so far this season. Premier Waller, the comeback has begun, so to speak.
As I tweeted out, it's the epic rally. I'm also happy to report that I'm one of the few that have not been fired by the Riders yet. How about you guys? You got the letter?
Not yet. As the house cleaning has begun, and we'll see how far this goes in the offseason. What do you think? Back in 2011, they got rid of Greg Marshall. Ken Miller came in, and they had a great game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Labor Day. Is this going to be a repeat of that?
I think there's a great chance for that. And they faded after that, if you remember. We all remember that it didn't end well that season. I'm not sure they're going to go on a tear. I hope they do, but I don't think they're going to fade. I do think this would have been a very difficult choice, but I think it was the right choice, and I think the Rider Nation agrees. Even the cut the next day was probably not the easiest thing for the new GM, for Jeremy to do, but probably also the right thing.
Tino Sunseri, of course, released, and now they go forward with three young quarterbacks. Kevin Glenn, of course, getting closer and closer to being healthy, but it is Brett Smith, Keith Price, and Blake Sims who are taking over. Of course, both of those, Price and Sims, have great NCAA records, but haven't thrown a pass in the Canadian Football League as of yet. But Tino Sunseri is released. We'll see what happens against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But also it is Premier Wall, the final night for the NFL preseason, as well. Cutdown Day is coming up as well. So much going on in the football universe.
Seahawks. I think the Raiders have the Seahawks tonight, don't they, James?
Yes.
Did you see the defense against the Cardinals? I mean, I know it's preseason, but I have hope. I think that's what this is, because when it comes to the Raiders, it's hard to recognize hope, but I'm pretty sure that's what I've got.
There's not much left hope-wise for the green and white, so we might as well move over to the silver and black for some hope. What's your take on the commish, the 4-game suspension, and Tom Brady, as Tom Brady's a free man?
Well, it's the Patriots, and if you don't like the Patriots, you're going to hate this decision, and if you're a Patriots fan, you're going to think justice was served. I'm probably in the former category. What NFL team does Woodsy? What's your team?
The Giants.
I'm a New York Giants fan.
Oh, well, you know what?
We've won Super Bowls.
Yeah, I don't mind the Giants. I really don't.
So have the Raiders.
I know.
Oh, I thought you were trying to take a shot over here.
No.
The Giants have won how many? 3?
4.
2. 4? Okay.
Yeah. 2 against the Patriots, by the way.
Yeah, so
they have no problems with deflated footballs.
The Tom Brady decision. How do you like that one?
I was for it. I thought that this was all about the commissioner just trying to consolidate his power, and the court said no. That's above and beyond the law, my friend, and they have to make some changes. It was all about the process. There was never anything about whether they thought Tom Brady cheated or not. It was all about the process by which the commissioner disciplines the players, and they found it wanting.
He was the quarterback for the great the snow job, was he not, Jamie?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so sorry. I can't agree with Woodsy just on that. Just on the basis of that.
When he fumbled the football, and it was Tagliabue at the time, and the tuck rule.
I think Woodson came in on a sack, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Clear fumble. Where were the courts then, Woodsy? Where was the U.S. justice system then for Raider Nation? They were nowhere to be seen.
No.
The courts only are there seemingly to step in for the Pats, and I just,
I don't think the two are related, but
maybe
you can think that if you want, Mr. Premier.
But I'm in politics. Sometimes we take these leaps and just hope. No,
I get it.
Again, that was my 21st birthday, January 19th of 2002.
I just get that I've always been told to lay off the Doug Gilmour and the Kerry Fraser incident from 20 years ago, and all of a sudden I still hear this stuff. So, I'm still bitter about that. We can all be bitter, Mr. Premier. I understand that.
Should we bring up Tony Gabriel to make it so everybody can be angry? No? Okay.
No, let's not. We'll change it, the subject to something happier.
Let's move
the fact that I've caught I've got King and the fans.
Yeah, Premier Wall. These are the standings right now in Premier's picks. And if you're new to the program, don't know what's going on, Premier Wall joins us each and every week. He makes his picks, and this is a Week 11 in the CFL, and he's up against the fans. So you, the fans, you need to weigh in now at 306-306, and you select your 4 winners for Week 11 in the CFL. It's BC in Montreal, that one coming up in just under an hour, and then Winnipeg in Saskatchewan, Toronto and Hamilton, Edmonton in Calgary for the traditional Labor Day Classics. So you vote. Who are the 4 winners this week? And you go up against the Premier. We'll put it on the whiteboard to my right, and we continue to tally it up. But it's a tie right now between Premier Wall, the fans, and Gary the King Nickel as we bring on the co-host of the Fan Zone. Gary, you feeling nervous? The Premier is about to surpass you.
No, it's exactly how I planned, Jamie, just like the contract states. And I just want to say that whiteboard is like the tuck rule of whiteboards. I hate it.
Oh, well, there you go. Now that's kind of an endearing comment. I appreciate that, Gary. Yeah.
That was for you.
And by the way, I'm not even going to mention where I stand in this because, it's going to take a miracle for anybody to catch me.
But I think the U.S. courts have disqualified you, actually, Jamie.
Yes.
I don't think you're in this at all anymore. There was a court ruling that came down, not as widely known as the Brady ruling, but still, nevertheless, in force.
The new rule, not able to entertain as widely as the Fan Zone and the Premier rule.
That's
I believe
correct.
It was called. Yeah. So we just took over.
So 306, you can.
We're nothing if we can't make stuff up here.
Yeah, I'm in control.
That's why we're here.
I'm in control of the whiteboard. So.
Oh, we know. Trust me, we know.
So 306, the picks coming in, and right now it's a tie between BC and Montreal. Edmonton and Calgary is a little bit up in the air amongst the fans' opinions on this. So keep the text coming on who do you think the 4 winners will be this week in Week 11, Labor Day weekend. So those traditional matchups: BC, Montreal, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg, Edmonton and Calgary, and of course, Hamilton and Toronto. Premier, let's start off with tonight's game. Who you got between BC in Montreal?
Jamie, I tried a strategy last week where I just sort of blurted out all my picks at once, and it seems to be working a little bit anyway, and so I'm just going to say home teams. I'll take all the home teams.
That is, Mark has texted in at 306 saying home team sweep as well. So,
there you go.
There you go.
Is Mark from Moose Jaw? Who is the fellow? Was that Glenn? No, that was Glenn from Moose Jaw.
Yep.
Remember last week? Right.
So Mark in Regina is going with the home sweep, as has Premier Wall. So Premier Wall's going with Montreal tonight. Then he's going with the Riders. Then he has the Calgary Stampeders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Those are the Premier's picks. Gary Nickel, BC Montreal tonight.
The Fan Zone takes BC, Jamie.
The Fan Zone will be wrong. Montreal wins tonight.
That's good, so we can gain on you. I like that.
For the second straight week, I am taking the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Wow.
Didn't work last week. We'll see if it works this week against the Bombers.
Let's all be honest here. We were one quarterback getting pulled away from seeing a victory by the Riders, weren't we?
Here.
So,
here.
Yeah, so I've got to take the Riders as well.
We should all get a half point because if
I like
No.
from last week, no.
Come on, Woodsy.
Woodsy's the judge. He's saying we don't get a half point.
Look at
It's a win or a loss.
Okay.
Once again, the courts have intervened. The court of Woodsy.
We never get a straight, just a beautiful segment of just no controversy. Everyone just comes together, and it's always crazy out here.
It's never Walton's Mountain. It's never everyone getting along. You're right about that, Gary.
Thank you, Mr. Premier.
Gary Nickel, who do you have between the Tiger Cats and the Argos?
The Fan Zone takes the Ticats.
It's going to be a sweep amongst us three because I'm also going with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Who do you got between the Eskimos and the Stampeders?
And the Fan Zone again, 2:00 Sunday takes
2:30.
the Edmonton Eskimos. Well, sorry, 2:30.
No, 2:30 Monday.
No, I'm talking about our show, the Fan Zone.
Oh.
The greatest show in the history of mankind.
And
that
it's at
plays during our
noon.
game.
It's at noon.
The greatest show in the
Oh, wait, our show's at noon. Your show's at 2.
You're
Never
just,
mind.
see, again, for the third and final time, the Fan Zone at 2:00. Mr. Premier, I know you're listening. Jamie Nye, obviously not, because he doesn't even know when the show's on.
What is the Fan Zone, anyway?
You guys play for the same team, kind of.
We call ourselves the mullet of the Fan Zone party.
Let's not start
party in
linking.
the back.
Let's not start linking the Green Zone and the Fan Zone together. Let's not do that. As we go to, so you got the Eskimos?
We got the Eskimos. You bet.
I'm going to go with I'm going with the fan zone. I'm going with the Edmonton Eskimos in an upset over the Calgary Stampeders.
See that upset special we always talk about, Mr. Premier, that we were getting in trouble for because we took it one time for him.
No, we did his upset special, but that wasn't good enough, Gary.
That's what it
right.
was,
You're
of
right.
course.
You're right. No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. It wasn't good enough when we do it. It's only good when Jamie does it.
I'm a published predictor on CFL.ca,
here
I'll have
we
you say.
go.
So those picks were published. Everybody could see what I picked that week, and you guys tried to submarine me.
Oh, boy.
So, not like it would matter anyways. It's one different point. I'm still flying
You're so
up the
cocky
stand.
with all this, you think he wouldn't even care.
I'm very competitive, Gary. That is something you need to know about me.
I'm slowly learning that, yes.
Premier Wall, have a great Labor Day weekend, and if you ever want to hop on by the Duck Derby, we'll love to have you in Lumsden on a Monday.
All right, Huskies 35, Manitoba Bisons 10.
Ooh.
Tomorrow night, U of R against the U of A.
Yep, Griffith Stadium.
What about the I guess the school to the south, the Regina Rams against the Alberta?
Someone will win.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, staying true to
Well
the alma
played.
mater there, Premier Wall. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Talk to you next week.
Thanks for the time, fellas. Take care.
As the university schedule gets going tomorrow night, it is U of S and, of course, the U of R over at Mosaic Stadium against the University of Alberta. Premier goes Montreal, Saskatchewan, Calgary, Hamilton. What say you, the fans who are tied with the Premier? Text now 306-306 with your 4 winners.